How do pawn structures affect chess minor piece endgames? Imagine a game where tiny pawns decide the fate of mighty bishops and knights. That's what pawn structures do in minor piece endgames. They shape the battlefield, guiding how minor pieces move and fight. First, think about weak pawns like isolated, doubled, or backward pawns. These are easy targets for minor pieces to attack or blockade. For example, an isolated pawn on the d-file often becomes a focal point, with minor pieces controlling key squares around it. If you have such a pawn, you want your minor pieces to stay active and control important outposts. Hanging pawns are to side-by-side pawns without support from other pawns. They can be powerful but also fragile. In minor piece endgames, they need active pieces to keep their strength. If you push these pawns too early, they might become weaknesses, allowing your opponent to blockade or attack them. Opponents often try to provoke pawn moves that create holes or weak squares for their minor pieces to occupy. Rook pawns, like the a-file or h-file pawns, are easier to defend because they control fewer critical squares. When minor pieces are involved, defending these pawns can be straightforward. For instance, a bishop or knight can sit on a square that blocks the pawn's promotion path, making it hard for the opponent to push through. Passed pawns are game changers. They are free to advance without opposition. In minor piece endgames, supporting a passed pawn with a bishop or knight can lead to a promotion. Conversely, minor pieces can also be used to stop the opponent's passed pawns, creating a tense battle over key squares. Pawn chains influence how minor pieces are placed. A strong chain can create safe outposts for bishops and knights. Breaks in chains, like d for d5 or c4 c5, open lines and change the position's dynamics. Minor pieces often sit behind or beside these chains to control critical squares or prepare pawn breakthroughs. In practical play, pawn structures determine who has the initiative. Active minor pieces thrive on open lines and strong outposts created by pawn formations. Knights are especially good at blocking or jumping into weak squares, while bishops excel on open diagonals. The color of the bishop also matters. If the pawn structure blocks the bishop's color complex, it can limit its activity, sometimes making the position a draw even if you have more pawns. Exchanging minor pieces can be a double-edged sword. If you have a weak pawn structure, trading off active minor pieces might help your opponent. But if your pawn structure is solid, exchanging can simplify the position and increase your chances of pushing past pawns or creating weaknesses for your opponent. So, pawn structures in minor piece endgames are like the blueprint for strategy. They tell you where to place your pieces, when to attack or defend, and how to plan your next move. Strong, flexible pawn formations give your minor pieces room to operate and boost your chances of winning. Weak or compromised structures give your opponent targets to exploit. Understanding these relationships is key to mastering minor piece endgames.